being alone has never been an issue or a challenge for me. I enjoy it. I revel in it. There are a lot of people who cannot be by themselves, people who can't even fathom enjoying their own company. I'm not one of those people. Okay? I'm not. Um, Reena and I met up recently and we had a talk about the thin line between being alone and loneliness. And that's our second episode.
We here. It's episode
here.
2, doggy fresh.
It's episode 2 because episode 1 was tense.
And we felt the need to kind of zero in on a couple of things that we talked about in episode 1. And specifically, we wanted to zero in on being alone versus loneliness.
Oh gosh.
Let me dive straight in, dog. Now, as a girl, love to just do stuff like pre-COVID, do things by myself. Go out for tea or coffee, take myself to the movies, take a walk, take a stroll. I am an only child, so I have existed, quote unquote, alone.
Yes.
Like majority of my life. I find great difficulty sharing food. So if I buy fries, you gotta buy fries too. Like I don't want your
No sharing.
No sharing. Like I mean, to point. Like if we both agree before the food is purchased that we're gonna share, like that's cool, that's fine. But I've literally been solo for majority of my life. And even in school, like I'd be in school Monday to Friday and then Saturday, Sunday, like I'm not hanging with no friends. I with my family. And even like coming out of school and being in like late teens, early 20s, majority of that time, out of all of my friends from school and like in life, everybody was in a relationship but me.
Right.
I was always solo. I was always like, I'm a free agent, I'm single, I'm out here. But then sis was in relationships. And then sis realized even in those relationships, sis was feeling alone.
Oh my god. That's the worst kind of alone.
You understand? Because you're with somebody. So it's not
somebody.
just that we together, we here, we in it to win it. But I still feel like if I'm single and I still feel like I literally don't have a support system, I don't have somebody who has my back, who's checking for me.
Yes.
And I would, in trying to find that or seek that, I'm gonna go to some very destructive things.
You know how we like to play with fire.
Oh yes, and I am a fire sign, so fire excites me.
Yes.
And so we out in the streets, single and celibate for 3 years now, and moments of loneliness do creep in because being in a relationship or a situationship prior, you get like muscle memory.
Yes.
And is that for me? It was when I finished a rehearsal, I was accustomed going St. James.
Oh gosh.
When I finish rehearsal, I go in,
Yes,
I go
yes.
in and organize my scenes.
The taxi and independence.
Yes. And before I go by the house, I go in the grocery because I have to buy wine.
Of
I have to buy a
course.
little something to eat.
Because you're a good woman.
Yeah, because you'll be prepared.
Good women do good things.
Because you get prepared. So I in that zone. So coming out of that situation now, and in the year following, and rehearsal in any with all our life, we doing things with women.
Right.
And I walk outside, and Brooksy says, "You're going home?" And I say in the midst of all the shit in my head, I'm like, "Nah, I go in." And I had to stop myself because I was
You
like,
told on yourself.
I was like, Tyke, no, you're not going. You're not. That's not what you do anymore.
Right.
Because you are not individual, not nothing anymore. So you have to rule it back.
Yes.
And then he was like, so wait, Kim, you're going on what? I was like, no, I'm going home. Sorry, slip of the tongue, no fault to the mind. Bitch, my brain was messed up.
Cute.
But that's because I got into the rhythm of, you finish a show, you go buy the plus one. You finish rehearsal, you go buy the plus one. You're in the store and you see something and the plus one say that they wanted and you
This
call.
is the Zaboca Tyker, it's a sweet bread. Why? You go like a sweetbread.
This is a sweetbread.
Yes,
This is the meal.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, like you have to unlearn that shit that you was doing for however long you was doing it for. Whether it's 6 months, 8 months, 2 months, 6 years, 14 years. Like you legit have to unlearn some shit and retrain your body and your mind and your soul and your vagina because you understand? Ain't nobody in them times when the time you had come in the city gate and the maxi go over the hump. I said, oh shit, what the hell? What's going
right?
What's going
You want to ride the ride, yes.
And then it would kick in that fuck, I'm single again. And I'm alone, yes.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Listen. And then the loneliness is like, hey,
honey.
how you doing? How you doing over there? How you looking? You looking lonely. You looking like you need some of me on you.
Yes.
Cloaked in darkness.
Yes. Now, question. If it wasn't the mayor, it was anybody else, you would have felt the same way, would you? Or it was him?
No, I had the feeling before.
Okay. So it's not special, it's not him?
No, it's not him, it's me.
Right.
It's me. It's like being with Sir Sniffs a lot as well too.
It was just a warm body.
That was a warm body too, yes. But because I left that mentally before I left that physically, I didn't get the lonely vibes. I didn't feel lonely. I was just like, I'm so glad to be friggin' free.
Yeah.
Yes, free at last, free at last. I didn't get that with that person. But somebody I dated, in inverted commas, in between Sir Sniffs a lot and the mayor, we'll call this person the astronaut.
Okay.
The astronaut.
He was very hard.
Nah.
He had a, okay.
I mean, he was good. Hey! He was good. But yeah.
He was spaced out.
He was spaced out, yes.
Okay.
But he was always in the clouds. Like he was always
Right.
He was always up there. You know, up there, floating in other universes and things.
Yes, the astronaut.
So the astronaut. I felt that with the astronaut because the astronaut and I was building a friendship before we got physically intimate.
Healthy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And then when I saw it slowly slipping away, I was like, what's happening here? Okay. And then because I had at that point in time, like I had to do a major reevaluation with the astronaut, like for real, because I had to double check myself, like Tyke, like what is going on? And I think if I didn't, I would have accepted some shit, like being a sister wife.
Oh, so you want, okay.
Yeah. And I at that point in time, knowing where I was mentally, like I would have been like, yeah, I could be a sister wife.
Yeah, because I remember we were down for anything, huh?
Yeah, I was down for the sister wife life.
For anything, yes.
I don't mind sharing with sis. Like, we could do this. I get what I want, she get what she wants, you get what you want.
Because a dick is a dick.
It stinks.
A dick is a dick.
It is indeed
Yes.
stinks. And I was just like, I should have just burned my belly and just like go through hard with that. But what I would have been doing, I would have still be feeling super lonely in the sister wife situation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, and I think differentiating being alone from loneliness is like real important.
Yes.
Because people might think that there's a difference, but there is.
There's a whole difference.
So what's the difference for you then? Like
for me, because I've been alone for some time now, a few months, and being alone, it's just being alone. It's just you. But there's nothing wrong with that because you are living. You are living your life. You are without the benefit of a partner, but you're not really feeling it.
Yeah.
Because you're self-sufficient. You're doing everything for yourself. You are alone. But you don't even think about being alone. Like,
It just
Not,
happened.
it just
You
happened.
just sit down and read a book and drink some tea and that's
Yeah,
it. Or watch a
right?
show.
Loneliness
Mm-hmm.
is when you feel you crave
Mm-hmm.
someone next to you,
Yeah.
a warm body. You crave sex. For me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, companionship, just having, to go out and,
Mm-hmm.
get ice cream or something like that. So that's the difference for me.
And also convenience, I want to say.
Convenience.
Because you may not have to even leave the house to get anything. It's be like, hey babe, what's up? How you doing? You good?
Yes.
I'm feeling for insert thing.
Exactly.
Insert thing here.
Exactly.
And they bring it. Whether they're on P2
Now,
or walking or driving or whatever.
so you see, the truth is, I could have someone like that
Mm-hmm.
where you can call up and just get
Really?
these things done.
Really?
But
These people don't exist for me. Just say.
but because I know better and I know that I have no interest in
Mhm.
pursuing something, and then I don't want something like strings for because those things come with strings.
Listen, I am not Bible, you know. I don't like string.
I'm not a puppet.
I don't like string.
Right? Because I don't want to strings.
Mhm.
I will separate myself from that situation because I have no intentions
Yeah.
to be in a situation with you.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm mature enough now to do the right thing.
Mhm.
Because when I was younger, I used to let the strings
Dictate the
fall.
pace.
Yes. And then people want to, make me feel obligated to do things. And I'm like, no, but accepting all the favors, accepting the drops. When me and Miguel want to go, what's the same thing I used to have? For free? For around carnival time?
B square.
Something. All these so when I want
B
drops
square.
to go these things.
Yeah.
You understand? You have a car man or whatever.
I've never had one of those, you know.
But
That's a whole experience.
strings.
That's a whole experience.
Strings.
Wow.
Yes. But you have no intentions. So loneliness for me is those moments, but it's fleeting.
Yeah.
Right? Now when the lockdown now start, oh gosh. And I had to deal with myself. And it was just me, oh God. I was feeling lonely.
Yeah.
I was feeling lonely. I was getting up in the night. I was walking up and down. Oh gosh. Because I had nobody to just go by.
Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, people was coughing.
Yeah.
So I can just go by anybody. I don't want to cough. Because I think it was with a mask and thing now.
Oh gosh.
So I was really feeling lonely. I was feeling it.
Yeah.
I was feeling lonely. I was missing companionship. I was missing just to have somebody to call. Because at this point I'd separated myself from toxic situations and healing was beginning to happen.
Yeah.
So I was just missing having sex. Oh my gosh, consistent sex. Because I used to feel like a woman. When you're having sex, you feel like a woman.
Those things.
Right? And now I know being a woman is something different. It's just being who you are and just exude, being a woman. But I was missing that and I was feeling lonely. And now, although I'm alone, I feel lonely that time of the month. Just a few moments, and it's fleeting.
Yeah.
But it's there, and I acknowledge how I feel. And you see, there's a power in speaking it.
Yeah.
There's a power because it has no control over you when you do that. So I acknowledge that I am lonely, I'm feeling lonely, but I'm not going to go on my phone and say, hey to a million people on WhatsApp and winky face to the fella on Instagram. You understand?
Yeah.
Or ask to eggplant emoji. You understand? I'm not going to do that.
Splash.
Thank you.
So I feel like, I mean, yes, I don't say I miss sex. I miss hugs. I miss like genuine like hugging.
Yeah.
I think I also miss kissing. I say that, but ain't nobody kissing in these times.
Intimacy, yeah.
Yeah, and not just somebody slamming my brains out, though that was enjoyable in the past. No, I want something different.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I we chill, we hang out. You doing whatever you doing in the same space, but we not like talking to each other.
Right.
And if we talking, we having like a serious conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could talk shit, there's no problem. But like we talk about intentions. Like, was the reason we having the conversation?
Now, we have been with people and we felt alone in those situations. Is it because those situations lacked intimacy? Not sex, because we were having sex,
Yeah.
but intimacy in terms of just having conversations, getting to know each other, really just being present and being there. Because for me, I lacked that in my
Yeah.
situations.
I think one more so than another. I feel like I lacked it in one because I felt like I was teaching this person everything. And I didn't want that.
Right.
I was just like, I'm teaching all day. Like, I have to come home or line with you in the evening time, and I'm teaching you too. And also, he had a certain level of insecurity. He wasn't sure who he was.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, I was doing television, so people would see me, know me, recognize me, and say, "Hey, oh my gosh, you're the girl from so, whatever, whatever." And that intimidated him because I made him feel insecure because his dad is in show business.
Right.
And so he had his own psychological tapes and his own shit that he was dealing with like his dad being like that, and now he's in a relationship with somebody who is people would recognize
Yes.
just like they would recognize his dad. So I felt like um he would do certain things or say certain things to take digs at me
Right.
because he was dealing with his own shit and didn't know how, he was not dealing with his own shit rather, and so he would project whatever he wanted to do it or tell to his dad to me.
Okay.
And so I felt super alone in that situation, and also because I mean that was an emotionally abusive relationship. So and I wasn't telling anybody that it was an emotionally abusive relationship. I didn't confide that in anybody, not even like my best friends knew.
And did you feel like it was a secret now you were keeping?
It was a secret
Yeah.
because I would actively defend him if he had done some shit and I mentioned it, and then it seemed off to somebody else. I would just not say something. I would deliberately withhold.
Secrets are never good.
No, they're not. And so I would
Secrets are sick.
I'll deliberately not even mention him at all or anything that we were going through or any issues, challenges, etc. because I didn't want the judgment or the faces or the looks or anything like that. So I would just be like, nah, he cool. But I altered all this so that we just not talk about he.
Yes.
I have all yes,
Yes.
boom, 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 boom. And so I remember going to a friend's party in Trinity, and it was her birthday, and he and I were together, and he was in town, and I'd organized to meet with him after the event, and I was there, and she was like my best friend, and we had disconnected for a while, and she went to UE, and she was at UE, and everybody loved her, and everybody was a big fan, and so there's all these people that I have absolutely no clue who they are.
Yes.
And they're all talking about how great she is because it's her birthday, so they're doing like toast and all those kind of things. And I remember, like, it's almost like a movie. Everybody went mute, and I'm seeing like mouths moving, and in my head I'm like, what am I doing here? I should legit not be in this space right now because I feel super alone. Because like, this is my friend and I love her, and I should be here to show support or whatever.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, the person that you're talking about, how is she that person for all our year? I had like a little selfish moment. It's just like, because she's that person for me, so, and that's my best friend, question mark. And then I remember being like, okay, cool, no, I have to go meet this guy, I have to go meet him. I have to get out of here, And I did, I left, I got in a maxi, and I got to Portersby. And when I met him, I was just like, okay, great. And then 50 minutes into us being together, I felt that
Wow.
feeling that I felt in the party, I felt it all over again. But this time with him, I was just like, I need to be home. Because I don't feel any better. I don't feel like um, I feel appreciated, and I don't feel
Yes.
loved, and I
Right.
don't feel supported, and I don't feel like this person actually gives a shit about me
Mm-hmm.
because he is all about him.
Yeah.
And I've never mentioned that to anybody, like ever, you know. But that feeling of like, even in a relationship, though, like, WTF,
It's scary.
WTF.
It's scary.
You know, I mean, and the other thing that was less, it was way more intimate and way more like, we had way more like connections or whatever, but I didn't feel loneliness
Is
in
loneliness negative?
that. Whew. And that's incarnation of it, yes.
Because we are social beings.
Yeah, we are.
We are social beings and we do need a community to
Mm-hmm.
thrive.
Yep.
We need each other.
Yeah.
So right now that we are not in relationships, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to not be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I've come to a place where if I never enter a relationship, I will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I really want is fulfillment.
Yes.
So I will go after a feeling of fulfillment
Mm-hmm.
in a healthy way. But it has to come from purpose or life's work or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to be alone.
Yeah.
But that feeling of loneliness, it's negative,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an indicator, well, then maybe we need to charge our social batteries.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we need to reach out because isolation
It could drive you crazy.
isolation is a dangerous thing.
Yep.
And sometimes when we are isolating ourselves, it's very telling.
Mm-hmm.
Because people in abusive relationships, they isolate her.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did.
I have done that as well. You know, and secrets and all those things start to happen. Um, so let's talk about isolation,
Mm-hmm.
right? What does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
Is it sometimes good, sometimes bad, or
Mm-hmm.
is it all the way bad?
I mean, we need to take breaks,
Okay.
like healthy breaks, because if you're overstimulated, that could also be an issue as well.
Right.
So, take a break from social media, that's good. You take a break from social events, that's fine as well too. Just some time to connect with yourself and whatever higher being or whatever, that, you know, just to reconnect, you know, get your shoes off, get your socks off, plant yourself on the earth, get that energy from the soil, from the grass, from the sand. That's important. When you talk about isolation, I feel like that word in itself is just kind of like, that word has a negative connotation for me, because I feel like when you isolate, it means you take on everything and you've removed it and you're literally just by yourself.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's just you
On the island.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And from the isolation, are you going to come back? Are you going to return? Or are you just going to stay by yourself?
Now it's important to note, I know we're talking about this, our personalities, we are very reflective.
Mm-hmm.
No, but we're very reflective people and we're very open and we talk a lot, right? Now some people are not like this.
Yeah.
Extroverts, but we are both introverts.
I'm an
extroverts,
ambivert. Yeah, ambivert is what you call it.
But not everybody is like this.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think, oh, they suffer in silence. I always think about that, you know. So do you think it's just us, people who have this type of personality, or what do you think about that?
Do I think that we are alone with the personalities that we have?
No, not alone. Do you think that how we're acting is healthy for us?
Yes.
But it's not a one size fits all situation.
No, it's not.
It will have people who are completely introverts and they will revel in being alone.
Yes.
And welcome that feeling of isolation. I don't know the feeling of loneliness. I don't know if they would like that. And then there's some people who they don't want to be alone.
Right.
Now I say that's very unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a judgment I'm making.
Yeah.
But maybe what if that is their brain chemistry and their personality?
And they
So
thrive best
in groups and,
in
and,
groups
and situations like that.
versus yeah.
So I just want to make a point. If you're listening to this and this doesn't sound like you, nothing is wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You have to know yourself and be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
As for us,
Yeah.
it's okay for us to be alone
Mm-hmm.
because I realize that we are strong. There's strength in that.
Mm-hmm.
But the feelings of loneliness come. And for me now, it's an indicator that I need to reach out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I have a bad habit of just like dealing with my shit myself. I'ma handle it, and that comes from mismanagement of expectations in the
Yes.
past, and it comes from my childhood, and I know this. I don't expect anything, or I don't expect anybody to do anything for me, because people have said, "Yeah, I'ma do X, Y, and Z," and then they never do it.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm never gonna ask you to do it again. And this is from my dad to family friends to people in school to friends after school to relationships to
Yes.
the gambit to work. You know, and like working in film or working in theater, like if you ask somebody to do something and it's not done, you have to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan all the way to quadruple Z.
Yeah.
You need to have a plan. And so I have a bad habit of just relying and just, I'm gonna get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna just get it done. Like when I did mansplain, when all the guys were like, Tyke, we will handle this.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I have to get it done. Tyke
Yeah.
thing. So I know one of my issues is delegating. Like I need to work on it. I need to work on delegation and trusting delegation. I'm gonna trust that you gonna do what you say you gonna do when you say you gonna do it. And
But it
I'm
comes from experience.
not gonna micromanage.
It comes from experience, right?
Yeah.
You have to be around people you can trust.
Yeah.
And that is a learning thing. Like
Yes.
it's a learning thing. So I honestly don't fault you for that.
Yeah.
Because with this new project I'm undertaking, I'm only gonna surround myself with people I will trust.
Yeah.
And they have a particular job, let them do it.
Yes.
I'm not gonna micromanage
Yeah.
because I'm confident because I chose you because of this.
Yes.
Somebody else. No, you can't be a
Yeah.
part of this project. No.
Yeah.
You understand? So it comes with experience. For me, because the loneliness, I have accepted that feeling is going to be there throughout my life. I have accepted that as much joy and happiness that I experience, I'm going to experience sadness and anguish and pain throughout my life. I've accepted that there's a balance in life when it comes to emotions and feelings.
Okay.
But I understand that I'm going to sit in the feeling, but I'm not going to sit in it too long. Because being a human, there are different shades of being a human. There's happiness, there's sadness, there's grief, there's anguish, there's joy, there's pleasure. And I'm going to be fully human. I'm not going to contribute to situations that bring me pain. Pain has to come from the outside.
Yeah.
And I have control of how I respond to it. And in terms of loneliness, I've accepted I'm going to feel lonely at different times in my life. Maybe it's every month because that's a trend right now.
That's a trend.
But I could do something about it.
Yeah.
So I could take care of my pet. I could take a walk outside. I could take a picture of a rose. Right? I could just come out of my head.
Right.
And just go in the bathroom. I could sing. I could call Tyker. We could have a little powwow, you know. I'm not going to go back to destructive behaviors because loneliness in the past, I formed unhealthy relationships with men. I formed unhealthy online relationships. I ate. So now I was walking anyhow. Make 6 laps around the savannah. I've done that 4 times this year.
Nice, nice.
So I could just take a walk, you know, and just see people and how you going, neighbor? You're riding the bike, all right. Connect
With people.
connect with my surroundings, with people, with animals, with nature,
Yeah.
and that is the medicine to the center.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I find comfort in knowing that other people feel lonely,
Oh gosh.
which is maybe a bad thing,
Misery like company.
you know. But when I was talking about loneliness on the live, people were saying that they had the same feeling, and I was like, oh my, I'm not alone.
You see? And even in that, even in loneliness, you're not alone.
Yeah, so you're not alone, like, and I mean, oh gosh, you see, like depression and stuff. It's fleeting. Understand
Yeah.
that you feel it, right? You're human. You feel it. Acknowledge that you feel it, but keep moving forward and know when you're in the feeling of depression, when you're in the feeling of loneliness, sadness, grief. The morning, there's joy in the morning. Cry, let out.
Yeah.
And I listen. I don't miss an opportunity for a good cry. When I'm in my bed and the lonely feelings come,
And they
I
do.
cry. I let the tears roll down my face,
It stings.
and I wake up so refreshed.
And
So-
feel like a lot
Like $1 million.
better.
I feel like $1 million.
I
You
mean,
know,
dread. Cause it's
So-
just it sneak up on you, you know.
I stick up on you. So the coping mechanism is to go through, build the muscles, and guess what? It wasn't easy at first, you know, Tyker. It wasn't easy at first, but guess what? Now I can say it's fleeting. Before it was days. When lockdown happened, it was days for me.
Yep.
When he was asking, so how this week was? Oh gosh, this week was, I feel lonely.
It was the worst.
It was the worst. But now with confidence, I said, oh yeah, the feelings come, they're fleeting.
They're fleeting. So the Wikipedia definition of loneliness is an unpleasant emotional response to perceived isolation. Loneliness is also described as social pain, a psychological mechanism which motivates individuals to seek social connections. And some people don't seek those connections. It is often associated with an unwanted lack of connection and intimacy. Loneliness overlaps and yet is distinct from solitude. Solitude is simply the state of being apart from others, which is
Alone.
we're talking about, yes. And not everyone who experiences solitude feels lonely. Okay.
Yes.
It stings.
So we know the difference between
Yeah.
the two. And so okay, so I talked about my coping mechanisms for loneliness. That feeling of, oh gosh, I have nobody. I don't mind. What are you doing? Right. So I
Yeah.
explained my coping mechanism, which is finding a connection with something other than me, my environment, people, nature, animals, pets, things, people, places, things. Right. The whole game. Total. What about you?
I mean, I've done the gambit from exercise to taking a walk to removing the trigger of loneliness.
Right.
So the internet, turn it off, reading a book. I've done some horrible coping mechanisms. Eating is one of those. Just bury the feelings in some chips.
Yes.
Or fight fire with fire. Watch Hallmark romance movies.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I know how it's going to end. I know
Right.
the farmer going to end up in the investment banker and everything going to work out and be fine and be
Yes.
great. So yeah, I will just fire with fire.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, identifying it is one of those things too as well.
Yeah.
It's like, am I lonely right now? Okay, what's the date today? Okay, that's why.
Yes.
Alright, okay.
But okay, and that's us. Men feel lonely too.
But do men Can men identify loneliness?
We know very intelligent men who, are honest with themselves. So I would say a certain kind of person.
Okay. I'm gonna get some voice notes in this part right here. I'm gonna be like, send me a voice note about how you feel about loneliness. Online, I asked the question, do men experience loneliness? Do men feel alone? And a couple of my guy friends responded, yes, we do, resoundingly. And one even sent me a voice note. So I'm going to share that with you guys.
Well, to answer your question, if men get lonely, well, the answer to that is yes. After all, we're only humans, regardless of the fact that people might think we emotionless, we tougher, you know, more brawny. The fact of the matter is that, that we have to master emotions as men because basically that our society kind of how, if you're too emotional as a man, you're gay or you're a faggot, you know. So even from small when you're growing up the line, boys not supposed to cry, this and that, and then wonder why we end up the way we end up, not showing emotions now. But back to the matter, and is the answer is yes. It also occurs sometimes when you're in a relationship, be it that sometimes you have a girlfriend, a significant other, a spouse, a wife, which there's a hard worker. Most of the times they come home, sometimes they're tired, you know. And you as a man, just like our woman is a little back rub, a little foot rub, you know, sex, a little conversation. Sometimes you mightn't get at. At the point in time, you might have certain things on your mind that you might want to talk about. Or your day going, you might be excited, and she might come home and just go and sleep. You know, sometime at work, she come home from work in a bad mood because whoever then woke up said them and whoever. So you know what bear the brunt of that now, you know? So as men, we just have it kinda hard in that we can't really show too much of emotions, too much of loneliness. We always have to pretend like if everything alright. That kind of way. So that is basically it. That is it. Men, yes, we do. We do get lonely. We do feel lonely. Not only when we single, but many a times while in relationship because of the fact communication and intimacy sometimes lacking.
I always look forward to the male perspective on topics like this because very often they're left out. Very often we don't care, we don't give a shit if men feeling alone. Eat your biscuit and shut your mouth. But it was really refreshing to get my friend's perspective.
I remember feeling lonely and talking to Brooksy. And I said, Brooksy, I feel lonely.
What was
I
his
was because I was
advice?
talking to somebody, the guy I was talking to on Instagram, and he was like, Reena, I was not in a relationship for 2 years. You could do it.
Yeah.
Brooksy, wake up your whole self.
Listen, I think that people think it's hard to be single because they're not sure about the being alone part.
Yeah.
And they mistake solitude and being alone with loneliness.
But you see, social media paints a picture.
Yeah, that you have to be
Media
somebody and
paints a picture.
let's take a cute selfie together.
Yeah, the t-shirts, the
and
matching t-shirts.
his and hers and
Yes, king and queen.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am the king and the queen right now.
Yeah, thank you.
I've not enough zone to share. And I'm not sharing zone.
Yeah, so you have to be not worth it. You see, being in a toxic situation after all that I know, it's not worth it.
Like, I mean, we've identified certain things about ourselves, and it's just like if we go back to doing that destructive shit, like it's almost like we didn't learn anything. Like, what was the point of going through all the shit that you went through if you're going to freaking repeat the shit that you just had to get through? You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's madness. That is the definition
of insanity.
So repeating some shit like that's not where it's at for me.
A frequent listener, a boker, if you will, also sent her perspective about loneliness and being alone.
Hey Reena, hey Tyke, Happy New Year. For me, being alone has been amazing. I get to be with my thoughts, I get to be with myself, but on days, because y'all know, I suffer with depression. Um, Loneliness takes its toll sometimes. Being alone is a choice. You get to choose what that and how that defines you. Being alone for me is I get to enjoy my company, be with my thoughts, and also make the decisions that benefit me. Whereas loneliness is a feeling and could come upon me at any time. The choice of being alone is not a, has its blessings and it also has a curse. Because the blessing in being alone is that you get to spend time with your divine, whoever your divine comes in the form of God, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, whichever one you serve. Your energies, your vibration, your chakras, your holy space does not deserve to be tampered. Your energies don't deserve to be crossed. Your vibrations from feeding off somebody else's vibrations is something. I'm not ready to put myself back in that space where my energy suffers or myself or spirit man suffers because somebody else is low vibrational and is sucking me of my energy. I like being alone. I like waking up in the morning, spending time with God. I like praying. I like fasting. I like clearing my mental, clearing my space, clearing my energies. Every morning I play my frequencies to clear my space, clear my energies, get me in a zone so that I'm able to receive good vibrations, good energies. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow people to come into that space and ruin that space.
We experience loneliness in friendships, in platonic relationships, in romantic relationships. And it is indeed a silent killer. In the description box, I've included videos from YouTube examining loneliness and the effects that it has on our generation.
Now, I recognize that I could work on myself, attract a healthy relationship, but during the course of that relationship, it turns out to be a situation where we have to move apart.
Yeah.
Because the relationship no longer serves both of us, right? And it may come to an end.
Yeah.
So I recognize that I'm not going to be in a mind frame where I'm looking for something and I have to attract this person and this person is ideal. No,
Yeah.
no, no. Healthy doesn't look one way.
Yeah.
It does not look one way, right? And I also have to manage my expectations.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Manage my expectations and really looking at life for what it is and getting rid of all information that no longer serves me, what I thought a healthy relationship looked like,
Yeah.
or what I thought a perfect relationship looked like, what I thought a friend was.
Yeah.
Right? So it's redefining those things for me, and I have the benefit of doing that being alone. And learning myself and what I like and what I don't like.
Oh gosh, yes.
And what upsets me and what makes me angry.
What's gonna tick you all the way off?
Right? and I have to acknowledge those things and, see if I'm being reasonable.
Yeah.
See if I'm being reasonable. But I have the benefit because I am alone and I have the space to work these things out.
Yeah. The space is not cluttered
The space
with
is not
somebody
cluttered.
else's stuff. Because
Yes.
we all have stuff.
Because a relationship is work,
Mm-hmm.
It's a next job. It's a full-time job.
And I'm looking for that kind of employment right now.
Yeah, it's a full-time job. And if we are doing it, because we are people, if we're doing it, we need to do it properly.
Yeah.
We're not half-assing it.
Yeah. At this point, no. It's not
We're
half-assed enough, nothing.
We're not going to half-ass anything. So we had to come correct too.
It had to work, dog.
So, the people, if you're feeling lonely, give a thumbs up.
Oh, God.
I want to hear what people's responses.
Yeah.
How are they coping with it? This is my year of healing, and I have made an intentional choice.
Yeah.
Because intentional is the word I love. Dwight led me that word last year. Dwight, if you're listening, thank you for that word.
Gosh, I love it.
So I am intentional about my healing. I'm intentional that I am not going to get involved in a relationship this year. If I meet someone and that person is interested in having a relationship with me, we can be really good friends.
Yeah.
So I'm intentional about not getting into a relationship this year. I'm intentional about not having sex this year. I am still working on my porn situation and masturbation situation. I would like that to, although it has not been as frequent, it still exists. And I just don't want anything to have control over me.
Okay.
Right? So I am working on that. That's my thing I need to conquer. And healing, for me, one of the things I want to do more of is connection with nature.
Right.
So I want to explore our beautiful island.
And go places and do things.
Go different plantations. I want to see some cocoa.
Actually, plantations.
Yes, I want to see some cocoa.
Alright.
I want to see some dirt ovens. I want to see some beaches. I want to
No
see.
pun intended.
No cocoa. But and again, so my loneliness, when I feel that, I'm gonna connect, make that connection, see more, be in new situations. So you see, new year, new me. New
Episode
year,
1.
new places.
New year, new places. Okay.
New places.
Wanna go and see some new things.
Places, definitely. That's something new I wanna do. I want to explore beautiful Trinidad and Tobago. I understand why people birdwatch.
I love it.
I understand why people birdwatch.
Yeah. It's away from all the drab of the city as well. Too.
Exactly. So more of that. Definitely.
More. How you like it? How you like it?
More. That was a play Reena, did you
Yes,
remember?
I know. That's why I sang it.
Willis Relpub, the man name,
And right now we're in his city. We like 2 streets.
Let the man rest in peace.
No, because he had to chuck in we foot in the night and make sure we doing things.
That's legacy.
That is ancestors. They're chucking we.
That is legacy.
Making sure, right, yes. Okay, live deliberately.
Yes. And living with intention and mindfulness is 2021.
So, listen, yes, it's things. Yes. And at the risk of sounding like a YouTuber, subscribe to the page, share this
Comment.
episode
We want to know,
2.
are you alone right now? Do you feel lonely?
Where are you listening to?
Exactly. Do you feel lonely?
Yeah.
Are you touching yourself? Stop it.
Oh my God, I cannot. I will not. I shall not. Listen, be good fat and have a solid core, We love you guys so much and thank you so much for your support so far. Episode 2, my guy. Episode 2. Episode 2. Thank you. This has been Zaboca.